Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Continue my video on man and woman. Man was created, woman was also formed. Now, please, I'm admonishing or advising that we try as much as possible to do what? Respect our female folk. Then the men should respect their female folk. The women should also respect. For in respect they say is reciprocal. If you respect, I respect you. But in this situation, I'm not talking of respect. I'm talking of respect that leads to spiritual maturity. The respect that will make you to attain paradise when you die. The respect that makes you to attain paradise when you die. Respect woman as such. The female respect man as such. Then in true respect, find out the problem we have on earth. For the main reason why we face all this trouble is because we are falling into the temptation, satanic temptation or Lucifer temptation, which makes us believe become God if we disobey God. We are not going to become God if we disobey. We are only going to lose our spirit. We only going to die if we disobey. In disobeying God, we lose our spirit. In losing our spirit, we become completely annihilated. Therefore, through the annihilation, we lose our name is now erased from the book of life. That book of life that was mentioned in the Bible is now what our name will be erased from. Obey God's will. In obeying God's will, we'll be able to know that yes, we attain advantages of one, making it to paradise when we die, or moving to a higher region at least when we die. Obedience to the will of God, to the will of God, we'll be able to do that. But while on earth, you have a wife or a woman who sees a man as maybe a tool to be used, or the man who sees the woman as a tool to be used, it becomes impossible for mutual respect. No mutual respect, jargons will begin to come out. You begin to see a woman as a tool, you begin as a piece of shit. The woman now will begin to see a man as a piece of shit. To your own advantages, we will now leave what we are supposed to get and do and begin to pursue that which is irrelevant, e.g., accumulation of wealth and riches. Accumulation of wealth and riches can only lead to propensity if you put all your mind there. If your mind does not go to God or submit to God, accumulation of riches and wealth is for temporal. It can your body, your physical body, probably to give shelter, clothing, and all the basic necessity of life. I am not saying that you should not pursue it. What I'm saying is that we should not pursue it to the point where there is fight and quarrel between male and female. Woman begins to see the purpose of life as accumulation of wealth. So if you have a husband or if you have somebody who does not look at the person as shit, it is not so. It is not so. Therefore, do not look at it for what the body will bring. For what the body will bring is what the money can provide. Now, it provides comfort, riches and wealth. Probably it will show in the body of that person. He will be shining, he will enjoy his life and all. But while enjoying his life and all, and disobeys the will of God by not obeying God, some will even go to the extent of not accepting. You therefore tie your soul down. You tie your spirit down to the physical realm, to the gross, whereby it becomes impossible. It becomes almost impossible, if not impossible, for you to flow out or for you to rise up from the physical body. Now, resurrection of that which can no longer be resurrected from the gross material world is what we refer to as what? Facing eternal death. Eternal death, therefore, will arise out of the fact that any human being who cannot, in circumstances, able to move away from the physical realm when the judgment comes, will be regarded as what? Eternal death. Eternal death is what you face when your spirit haven't relaxed much, which you enjoy from the physical enjoyment that you get in your body. You now relax to a point where you begin to consider some certain things more important, e.g., you begin to consider having much children, you begin to consider having much wife, you begin to consider having much houses, you begin to consider having much land and property. You will start which cannot be seen or which does not exist. Cannot be seen, does not exist. You begin to believe that there is no God. You begin to believe that that which you cannot see is not possible. You begin to calculate with your intellect, absorb with your spirit, and then which your spirit has absorbed, and let your intellect tell you what it means, which is a simple form. You allow your spirit to absorb that which it wants to absorb, and then your interpret that which your spirit is supposed to be. It does not happen like that. What now happens is that we cut off the spirit absorption. We begin to calculate, everything. Everything he is doing, he is calculating it. I am calculating, he is calculating. You calculate to your own advantage, calculate to my own advantage. The other person calculates to his own advantage. Then when it is not advantageous to me, I rather destroy what we are doing. I rather disobey it. I rather help the thing down. If it does not pay me. If it happens that and the other person had to submit, you begin to look at that person that is leading as evil because you see him as an advantage. He probably is in control of money. He packs everything. And the person that is leading falling into the satanic manipulation or deception, pour the money into his own pocket. He begins to eat and drink everything, believing that here to that or to that person that who is referred to as the poor man. The poor person is now a person who is not having. Therefore, the rich will now oppress the poor. Oppressing the poor, therefore, is what the rich will. Why? Because of the domination of the intellect. The intellect domination domination, that means that that which you should know spiritually has been cut off. Everything now based on calculation. Everything that is coming up, if you calculate that the thing you will not gain, you do what? Destroy it or spoil everything, scatter it. When the person comes, he will not be able to know and say, okay, let us do it this way and that way so that it will benefit all of us. Nfonfoju apa. Igbo call it Nfonfoju apa. Yoruba call it what? Oloju kokoro. Oloju kokoro. Only you wan chop everything. No one leave am for your chop. Any position wey you dey, na my pocket, my pocket. Satan have deceived us into believing that except you have everything to yourself, the women to yourself, all the money to yourself, all the houses to yourself, then they will start praising you. All everybody will now start until you achieve that, you begin to regard yourself as not having achieved anything. Fortunate to have it. Those that were born rich or with silver spoon as they call it, or probably with golden spoon as they refer it, will now be regarding to themselves as somebody who is superior to the other. My brothers, it is not so. You are not superior. If you obey this, then you have lost your path. That which in that form leads you to losing of your path. Spiritually, you lose your path. Therefore, I advise, let us as a human being generally live in such a way where one, we obey the will of God, we obey the law of God, we submit ourselves to God's will, we will now begin to live a life that does not, under any circumstance, regard him or herself as superior to the other person. A life where you do not begin to say, okay, if I do not make it, I'd rather destroy everything. If I do not get everything, I'd rather not do it. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, please, you are admonished to live a life where you can, under all circumstances, do that which is in accordance to the will of God. You will not allow your brothers or sisters or any human being to be cheated. Goes birds of a feather. If in obeying the with pure and spirit, then the birds together are birds with pure souls will attract each other. And in doing, we begin to help together. Thank you. Like and share my